Welcome to this edition of the show. The recent ban on cryptocurrency transactions within the banking system hasn't gone down well with users and advocates. My guest on the show is a blockchain advocate and cryptocurrency forensic expert, and he has a lot to share regarding the way forward. We have a lot more lined up for you, but let's kick off the show with some tech news and updates. I am Chukwemeka Agbata, and this is Tech Trends.
In a modern and innovative society where advancements are plentiful and communication is instantaneous, science and technology are a part of everyday life. In Nigeria, youths form a high percentage of the population, but sadly, they are also the most unemployed. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics reveal that in the second quarter of 2020, Nigeria's unemployment rate was 27.1%, up from the 23.1% recorded in the third quarter of 2018. Still, in that quarter of 2020, the unemployment and underemployment rates among youths were 34.9% and 28.2% respectively. According to the NBS, these rates were the highest when compared to other age groupings. Many would consider the youth unemployment trend as a reason for the daily rise in social vices, which is why, to skillfully engage the young demographic, especially the disadvantaged ones, the National Institute of Information Technology is equipping them with technology skills such as graphics design, video editing, programming, and hardware repairs.
What crystallized this was, however, the NSAS project protest, and how it engulfed the whole state, how it became something else, something violent, and then the constant use of the word hoodlums and things like that. We felt maybe it's time to even do a lot more than we were doing before. We sat down and we thought about it and said, how about a program that is actually even free? Can we reach the people? Can we reach a specific set of people? Not the people that can afford it, but the people that can't, but have the capacity to. So we designed a program, we designed a scheme, and went out and looked for sponsors who would help us reach these people. And that's what Street to Geek is about, converting the average guy on the street who doesn't have access to IT to become an IT person.
The aim is to transform them from uneducated minds into innovative and self-empowered individuals.
Street to Click is about trying to reach out to the disenfranchised, to the people that have not been able to hit the job market at the level that they should, who have the capacity to do more but are not contributing enough to the economy. People that are at a disadvantage as to their access to economic opportunities.
Now, let's see how we can add sound.
The project would not only position the youths for productivity and employment, but also ensure that they have a future in the global workspace.
I feel that by the end of the program, I should be able to have a career in computing and also to be able to become a professional, to create flyers and also be a graphic designer.
There are quite a lot of classes though, so I chose video editing. So far it's been fine, it's been nice because I've been trying to do one or two things with the video editing stuff, and then it's been fun so far anyways. You know, I've seen quite a lot of movies and then quite a lot of things people do with videos. You know, I would like to verge into that and do quite a lot with it as well.
Some authorities believe empowering youths with tech skills is one way to reduce digital inequalities and ensure they are integrated into the job market of the future. All staff at Hotel Sky in Johannesburg's wealthy Sandton district adhere to strict COVID-19 protocols, wearing masks and physically distancing from guests as much as possible. All of them except Lexi, Micah and Ariel.
Welcome to Hotel Sky.
For the three concierges couldn't breathe germs on you even if you wanted them to because they're robots. Robot hospitality is nothing new. Japanese hotels have been deploying them for years, and in 2015, Tokyo's Hena or Strange Hotel became the first to be fully staffed by droids.
We thought this is a great opportunity for us to do something that has never been done in Africa before. And so we sourced these robots from Sandbot, and then we started to program them and make them African. So yes, this is the very first hotel in Africa that has robots.
Several robot-staffed Tokyo hotels are now using them to serve guests with mild COVID-19 symptoms. But Hotel Sky, which launched in 2021, is the first in Africa to use automated attendance, a concept that could be controversial in a country with one of the world's worst jobless rates.
Robots will never ever replace people, never. Especially in a hospitality environment where, you know, we're humans that want people contact. We want that social interaction, and robots just can't do that. But what they can do is they can offer you a great concierge experience. They assist us with analytics in the hotel space, so they would be able to pick up with facial recognition, mood, it's called mood sentiment, to see whether people's facial expressions are happy or sad.
Lexi, Micah and Ariel deliver room service, provide travel information and can drag up to 300 kilograms of luggage from its marbled floor lobby to the rooms. Kelly says if the hotel receives a guest at high risk from severe COVID-19 symptoms, the robots could be deployed instead of human as a precaution. Guests can also choose whether they want to interact with staff members or make use of the self-service, which is all controlled by their phone. Steve Pinto, CEO of CTRL Robotics, which supplies the droids, said in addition, they scan customers' facial expressions to determine how happy they are.
As you've seen, this whole hotel is teched out, but another layer was to put some sort of automation. And how could we bring robotics into the space? So about a year and a bit ago, just over a year ago, Paul said, I want a robot that can do A and B and C and D, and I want it to work within into this new flagship space that we're building, Hotel Sky in Sandton. And he kind of gave us this big vision and a brief, and he said, go for it and start building. And pretty much from that day, we started working, and we started pushing these about a few months ago, actually, into the hotel.
By default, COVID happened. And now we find ourselves in a situation where we can have that less people contact with the self-checking kiosks, using your own personal device, your telephone. So you don't have to use a phone in the room because you have your own device. You don't have to touch something else that someone else has been touching. You have your own device, it's yours. And so the safety around it, and also from a security perspective, it's on your device.
However, if guests don't want to lose the human touch, they can opt to interact with more traditional staff.
Japan has had them for years, for example, but this isn't Japan.
Robotic waiters are being used in restaurants and the catering industry in South China as a way to reduce human-to-human contact and solve labor shortages in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic. For instance, the hot pot restaurant chain Xiabu Catering Management is using 2 robots in their 600 square meter facility in Shenzhen City to serve food and beverages during the dinner rush hour, which helps save time and human labor costs.
Let's take this store for an example. During peak hours, it needed 6 employees to serve dishes, as this store covers larger areas. But now, with the robots, we only need 4 employees. From another perspective, we've cut our workforce by 30%, while helping us cut our entire labor costs by 5%.
Robotic dish cart manufacturers say their products can help not only with social distancing, but also when it comes to labor shortages. One leading firm says they had shipped more than 10,000 robotic dish carts, and most of them were sold last year.
The introduction of intelligent robots for catering enterprises not only reduces contact for dinner gatherings, but also improves automation levels. It's a smart solution for the labor shortage issue and high human cost in the sector. During peak dining periods, one robot can replace 1.5 to 2 waiters. And fees for renting one robot is about 3,000 won per month, which may be less than 50% of the cost for employing one person.
Figures from NCBD, a big data service provider, show that the market size of food delivery robots in China reached 220 million yuan in 2019, totaled about 1.2 billion yuan in 2020, and is expected to achieve nearly 15 billion yuan by 2025.
We believe that the digital and intelligence transformation and upgrading of the entire offline service scene, including catering, is a long-term trend, and the collaboration and interaction between man and machine in these scenarios are also trends in the future.
Industry analysts say as artificial intelligence technology progresses, food delivery robots will continue to be optimized in the future.
Data privacy is a hot topic today because most giant tech companies depend on your data to either develop new products or help their customers serve you tailored advertising. What you may or may not know is that Google keeps tabs on various types of data associated with you, such as your search history, YouTube videos, websites visited, and ads you click on. All these and more adds up to what becomes your online persona, and with which decisions concerning you are made. The company has recently released a new feature that allows you to set when to delete your data, especially if you're worried that almost everything you do online is being monitored, stored, and analyzed by the company. Here are steps to get this done. 1. Open your Google account. 2. Scroll and tap Data and Personalization. 3. Under Activity Controls, tap Web and App Activity. 4. Select Choose to delete automatically. 5. Tap Choose how long to keep web and app activity. 6. Tap to select either 18 months or 3 months and save. Note that this new feature is not available on all platforms yet, but we still encourage you to check and refresh often to see if it's shown up on your device. Data privacy advocates consider this as a major win, and it is expected that tech giants will make many more changes that will give users greater control of their privacy.
Coming up is my chat with Adedeji Owonibi, founder Convexity. Stay with us.
A cryptocurrency is a medium of exchange that is digital, encrypted, and decentralized. It is more like a virtual currency secured by cryptography, which makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit or double spend. They can be used to buy goods and services, but use an online ledger to secure transactions. Cryptocurrencies use decentralized control, which means they aren't controlled by one person or government. On the 5th of February 2021, the Central Bank of Nigeria released a letter addressed to banks and other financial institutions stating that dealing in cryptocurrencies and facilitating payment for cryptocurrency exchanges are now prohibited. The CBN further instructed all banks and other financial institutions to identify individuals or entities who transact in cryptocurrencies or operate cryptocurrency exchanges and close the accounts of such persons or entities. This directive has elicited major concern amongst the public, with many worried about the potential negative effect it could have on Nigeria's growing cryptocurrency market and innovation in the fintech industry. Our guest is Adedeji Owonibi, a blockchain advocate and crypto forensic expert, and he shares with us the way forward in this controversial situation.
A lot of people have takes on what cryptocurrency is, but I see it as a natural next step for money. And if you go back memory lane, there are times we use cowrie. Just yesterday, I was discussing with some people on how stone is actually used as currency in an island called Yap Island. And I Googled it and I showed them, I said, this is just a stone. So people choose what they think currency should be across from time immemorial. You know, before we moved to coin, we moved to cowries. Sometimes we were doing barter at the time. So it's just normal metamorphosis. You know, so this is transforming, you know, to becoming the new money. And of course, normally before you can take a shift, it takes a lot of controversy, but that is what is happening for me. Uniquely, it is generally the next step for money. And if you're asking me, how did it come about? What is it all about for the layman to understand? People believe there's this group of people called the cyberpunk. You know, some few years back, sometime in 2009, 2008, they started researching. And to say, okay, this financial system, we don't believe in it. We believe in their own opinion, government is manipulating this financial system, and they believe government only allow people that they think they love to have this money to have it. So they are looking forward to which money, what can they work on that will liberalize everything. Whoever it is, or it was then, he created this whole money, you know, relating with his peers over the internet, and they're trying to do jig, you know, they're trying the money, they're working on it, they're putting corrections, and all of a sudden, this same individual that we don't know, whether group of people, whether government of a particular country, nobody knows yet, you know, but we're still following the mystery. And he vanished with over 1 million Bitcoin in his wallet. If you multiply Bitcoin today, and you just know that it's one of the world's richest person that live, whoever that person is. But one funny thing is that he didn't use it, he is not spending it, he just disappeared. And the rest of us continue to ride on that well up to this moment.
So tell me, I mean, you've mentioned that the fact that it's a currency of the future. Is there any disadvantage? Okay, what are the advantages and disadvantages of these particular types of currency?
Yeah, this currency is simplifies payment, and I must tell you that. You know, if you want to make payment cross-border, this is a denationalized currency. So to even look at it as a layman, you just believe that it has removed the issues of going to one corner, like where you find the forex exchangers to change your naira to get $1 before you can do some things across the border. This one is say, hey, I belong to every country, and you can use me to just transact across border at a click of button, like everybody that has internet can have access to it. I don't have to go to bank. I just have my phone, and you can just transfer. So that seamlessness and that simplicity is one great advantage. And again, you know, the fees are cheaper, even though now there are arguments around gas fees, these Bitcoin fees that you have to pay. But then it's still cheaper. You can move a whole lot of money by paying just very minimal fees. And this, again, it is decentralized, meaning there's no barrier to who can actually send money. No much questions are asked. And I think that is where the disadvantages that we'll talk about later actually come.
For those who say that there is now a Bitcoin cabal, you know, same thing they were accusing the fiat money for, it's not happening. What would your comment be on that?
You see, Bitcoin as it is has its own monetary value. You know, it has a whole monetary system, and it is driven by scarcity. You know, and like, you know, your naira depreciates, inflation can eat it up. your US dollar inflation can eat it up. And this is, designed to actually be deflationary. Meaning as more people come into it, it does not come out. And of course, they have another thing that just happened in 2010. Most people probably are not aware. But if you are in this space, you know there's also, they have their own, what they call a contractionary monetary policy. What central bank does to pull out money out of the economy, and when they think there should be money in the economy, they pump it back in. But in this case, this one only collects because, the industry or the system that means this, it have every 4 years, meaning the supply of Bitcoin is reduced by half every 4 years. So meaning, and people are coming more to get it. So this thing is not available. It's going to be half every 4 years, and people are getting enlightened. Everybody rushing to get a pie of it. So of course, by simple economists, we say when there's scarcity, the price will go up. There's more demand, the price will go up. So that is the idea, and I believe Nigerians are not missing out. Nigeria are there. And I believe you hold a lot of bags of Bitcoin too that will soon come for you to give me some portion of it.
So the CBN came up with this policy. What's your take on the policy?
The policy is ill-advised, in my own point of view. But again, you probably will not be privy to, regulators have some personal, very deep insight to what most of us don't. But when you look at it superficially, and I want to just be in the public because I don't have an insight to why they did that, but because most of the time policymakers, government have reasons why they take drastic actions. At times it's not popular, but they probably need to take those actions that time. Maybe they will come out to tell us what that is. But on the street value of that policy, it is not intended with global standard of what is happening currently. That same day they ban it, OCC in the United States licensed some other bank to custody it. So a lot of banks now in US are licensed to actually custody Bitcoin. They are licensed to actually transact and make their own transactions very fast with stable coin. And so central banks around the world are also researching and experimenting with this cryptocurrency in what the world will call the CBDC, central bank digital currency. So it will be, like for me, like a somersault kind of, for central bank to issue what they issue on a superficial level. But like I said, there probably could be some insight that is not visible to all of us. And we are shocked because the ripple effect in the economy for us that are within that ecosystem and that small economy that is blossoming in Nigeria, we believe is not progressive and is very hasty, and the community were not carried along to share those concerns before that came out. Don't forget that I play within the compliance and investigation of this cryptocurrency space. So there's actually nobody playing that you cannot unravel with the technology that we do have. There's technical ability now to check who is doing what on the blockchain, even though it's pseudonymous. I had a publication earlier that is targeted at law enforcement, and I said Bitcoin, the law enforcement's best friend. The reason is this. Blockchain on its own normal feature, any transaction conducted over that network is forever indelible. You can't alter it. It is there for record. So it's not money for criminals. In fact, criminal that knows his onion will never interact with Bitcoin because everything you do is traceable to the last point. But for Naira, if you give me Naira and I take it from you, I disappear, nobody traces it.
Adeliji, I foresee us doing a part 2 of this interview, but for now, thank you for being on the show today. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you very much for having me, Sefi. Bye-bye.
My guest has been Adeliji Owonibi, founder Convexity. As you've heard from him, the cryptocurrency controversy will be around for a pretty long time to come because it's simply a battle between an established way of transacting and a completely different new way. Like he stated, P2P is growing, so policymakers still have a lot of work to do. By the way, I hope our policymakers have learned an interesting lesson. We should hopefully make them more proactive. The question I'd love to ask them is, why did anyone sit around and wait until transactions started from $1 million and got to $500 million? That is reactive and not cool for innovation. Anyways, crypto and blockchain advocates have their fingers crossed and hoping for the best. That's our show for today. Remember, we live on social media at Tech Trends TV. You can watch these and previous editions of the show on Channels TV, YouTube, or cfablog.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.